Got it. Okay. Now streaming. Okay. Shalom to everyone. As you all know, I'm Gideon Ariel, and you are Michael Stoltz, my American advisor, or as he's called, the executive director of Resource USA, or whatever he sometimes introduces himself as. Arnie, who is my Israeli advisor. Hi, Arnie. And two members of our board, Al McCarn and Dave. My daughter, who some of you may know, sometimes she shows up to these meetings. She's also on the board. And Elon, so she said that she would be taking a test at this time, so she would be able to be there. But I just noticed that she finished the test maybe early. So unless she has another test that she has to take or something like that, she might show up. And also Elon Pomerantz, my other Israeli board member, I think, also said that he might be able to show up even though he would be late. And so I think, what have we got over here? Two. And those are two, that's four. That means we got three more. That's Armando, that I hope that he will show up. Revis, and Anne recently resigned from the board, but Armando showed up. So who am I missing? Somebody else. I'll take a peek. 1 second. Shelley, of course. Shelley Jones, who is also very busy. So we will begin. Can everybody say hello? Because I don't know if I can hear you all.
Hello.
Hello.
I heard somebody,
What?
but nobody else. You guys aren't talking too loud. No, Al, I really can't hear you. It doesn't look like.
That's because I didn't press the button on my
This-
mic.
Okay. Anybody? And how about you, Dave? Sometimes you have good things to say. But I can't hear you now.
I can hear me.
Okay, there you go. All right. And Mike, what about you?
Yep, I can.
Okay. Thank you very much. And my apologies for starting this 10 minutes late. My computer will get what it deserves later. So you all are familiar with the way we do things around over here. I have a prepared meeting notes. Second. And that I will read through. And right now we only have two people here, so I'll read that quickly. This is a call to order. Everybody has any action that needs to be taken must be taken in a meeting. But if an informal action may be taken even without a meeting. And a meeting needs a quorum of 3 people, as we'll show in a minute. The board of directors of this corporation is further consent in writing with respect to the resolutions described below. That will be at the end. This document was prepared by the CEO and circulated by WhatsApp amongst all directors. I sent that to you yesterday. In some cases, discussed it in detail via Zoom. That's what we're doing now. The Zoom meeting is recorded and is available as is a copy of this document at rootsource/board meetings, and its agenda items, that is what we're about to see, were approved following the board Zoom meeting held at Thursday, March 27th at 6 p.m. Israel time, 10 a.m. Texas time, or Chicago time. Everybody else in this meeting is not in Texas. Nobody's in Texas. What do you know? But everybody knows where Texas is. Okay, so the board meetings here, the members here today are Dave and Pitcher. Sorry, Dave and Al so far. Whoops, here comes somebody else. It is Dawn, who is also not, yeah, there she is. Is she in yet? I'm not sure. Dawn, when you come in, if you're in already, please let me it's just either there. So Sloan is not here and Luann is not here. Come on. There you go. So we'll move them over. We'll move them down to here, even though they're not members, but we'll delete them if they don't show up or do show up. And let me see. So we have 6 people, but I can't see them all. There you are. Hello, Dawn. you are on mute. If you just unmute yourself for a moment so we know that technically you can talk if you want to, but then you can certainly mute yourself again.
Okay, hi, I'm here.
Okay, thank you for showing up. Thank you for being a guest. And let us begin. A quorum is required for business transactions and passage of motions. A quorum consists of at least 40%. Since less than three board members are this activity is considered an informal action. We'll just put this in here. If a third person shows up, a third board member shows up, then we will change that. Agenda. The agenda of resolutions to act upon the review of 2024 expenses to date, review snapshot of balances, review of report of activities, and update of contract. The board shall review and approve the actual approximate Q1 and 2 24 tab of the following document. Note, the expenses and income are not complete as I would have liked, hopefully next quarter, but they are pretty good. So let us review what I am talking about. Not this, I'm talking about this. These are, one second, let me get this out of the way. Yes. These are the actual this is the actual approximate expenses.
Yeah,
of,
can't have actual approximate.
Pardon me?
Can't have actual approximate.
You're right. So we'll call it actual expenses. And inside, we will, or Baal Peh, orally we'll say that they are expensive. What I have here, what I tried to do is create a short document that will present the expenses, what we've actually spent money on. Unfortunately, we didn't do an audited review of it. Joanna, my assistant, and I, but we did this, and we stand by it, plus minus 5% or something like that. So first of all, my salary is as you can see, more or less in most expensive to least expensive. So the most expensive expense is my salary, plus it's the Social Security and all that kind of stuff. So that comes out to $7,000 a month. We're talking about 5 months, January through May. So that's 5 months worth of $7,000 is $35,000. That was the expected expense. The actual expense was exactly that. Michael Stoltz is our fundraising consultant in the United States. His fee is about $2,000 a month. And so 5 months it was expecting $10,000, but 1 month, I believe he worked a lot fewer hours. So we only paid him $8,800. This is not including June. We haven't paid for June yet. It's not the end of June yet, but he hasn't yet submitted his fee invoice, but chances are it'll be another $2,000. Joshua Frampton, also we're expecting to pay him $10,000 a month. And in fact, we pay $2,000 a month. In fact, we paid him $2,000 a month for about a month, and then another month a lot less. But after 3 months, we discontinued use of him. He was not delivering social media reach, and we also couldn't afford him. So we parted as good friends for that activity. Joanna, as I mentioned, she is my chief virtual assistant. We have about 4 other virtual assistants that do a lot of work around here. That comes out to about divided by 5, a little under $3,000. I think that's wrong, but it might be right. Bottom line is, we paid about $9,000 over these 5 months, so a little under $2,000 a month. Those are our regular expenses. By our next quarterly meeting, this will look a little bit different, but and certainly this will look a little bit different. Okay, another big expense, the next biggest expense that we had this quarter. No, not this quarter, the half, the 2 quarters was our war grants. We ran a program. We ran a campaign to raise money for various war needs, and we paid out about $10,000 of those war needs, $9,900. And we brought in about 10,000. No. What we brought in is separate, but we were expecting to pay out 10,000. We paid out about 10,000, so it was pretty much in and out. Bina Kaplan is our bookkeeper. She charges about, I guess, $500 a month, but she ended up charging about $550 a month. So that's why our actual payment to her was slightly more than what we were expecting. Arnie, as I mentioned, he's our fundraising consultant. We were expecting to pay him, I guess, 5 months, $2,000. What does that come out to? About $400 a month. And he ended up charging us a lot less because he was working a lot less. I went to America a bunch of that time. And from time to time, I said, let's not meet this week. And that was that. Of course, anybody, including Arnie, can jump in here and say anything they want at any time. Our big event over this past quarter, and ultimately one of the biggest events of this past 2 quarters, was Kikar Yahalom Travel, i.e. the plane fare. There were other expenses also that I stuck in over here. I was expecting to spend about $5,000 on that trip. I wrote here $5,000. I think I spent a little less, maybe $4,000, maybe 3.7. But let's keep it in. But since I was unable to review all of the exact expenses of that, so we'll keep it at this for now. Then comes a relatively small expense, which is AWeber. That's about $100 a month. And so that is what we paid, $109 a month, I think. We received a grant from the Nathaniel Foundation. I believe we received it around December. And that grant was slated to pay a war bonus to each of our teachers. And we paid out about 8 of them. And today, so I wrote over here, 6 teachers' payments were deferred because of cash flow issue. What I did was I told all of our teachers we'd like to pay you $500. Here comes Elon, Yofi. I had a feeling that I would be too quick to change the writing, that we had 3 board members here, but here comes Elon. And as soon as he comes in, then I will welcome him. In any case, those 6 teachers, whatever, the teachers who were paid said, "Thank you very much. I'd like to get paid. Please pay me." And second, where is he? Why don't I see number 7? There you are, Elon. Elon, if you can, please unmute yourself for a second and certainly show yourself. If not, no big deal, but I definitely see that you were here. We are in the middle of reviewing the what we've actually expended over the past 2 quarters, actually. We're almost at the end of that. Anyway, the teachers who did not respond and said, yes, I'd like to get paid, here is my payment method, then we just didn't pay them yet. We will pay them as soon as we have enough money to pay them. You might remember at the end of last quarter, we were very tight. Anyway, but we'll get to what we brought in and what we expect in a moment. And one teacher, David Haivry, he, for example, did not respond 3 months ago. Just today, I noticed that he sent an email and said, hey, can I still get that money? And I certainly will pay him that money. No problem. And various other expenses of about $200 a month. Israeli tax authorities, internet and phone, accounting software subscription, that kind of thing. So altogether, that is also relatively negligible. That means that, in fact, we paid out about $80,000 in these 6 months. These past 3 months, that means we paid at about $40,000. Again, except for teachers' bonuses, which they weren't expecting. We are robustly not owing anybody any money, and anybody who says, hey, please pay me, we pay. We try to pay ASAP. And so I feel good about that. Okay, we're done. Oh, and here comes my other daughter. Thank you very much. Not my other daughter, another member of the board. So she will come in a moment. And as I told Elon, Ellie, here's Ellie. I guess she's in a car. You can see her glasses and her hand. You can stay muted, Ellie, if you want. You can unmute yourself for a second to show that you can unmute yourself. If not, say hello. Thank you. You can remute yourself if you'd like. So as I was just telling everybody, we've just finished reviewing the actual expenditures of RootSource over the past 5 months. And we're okay with that. Anybody have anything else to say about that? No. Okay. Back to the next part of our, so that we reviewed the expenses. Second. And now it's up for the snapshot of balances. In other words, the money that we have. I will remind you that we only started reviewing the actual expenditures like last time, like the end of December. I said, wait a second, I've never told you guys what I'm spending the money on. So now I've just told you pretty much. And I will get to in a moment what our actual activities are. But as far as the balances are concerned, here we are. 1 second. I'm going to hide everybody. So if you have anything to say, raising your hand won't be enough. Here we are. I hope you all can see the screen. So we now have in our Israeli bank account $11,820. We have in our Israeli bank account, that is in shekels. And we have $13,000 in the dollar account of our Israeli account. In PayPal Israel, as of yesterday or 2 days ago, we had $89. We withdraw the money every beginning of every month. Often we have more money than that, but that doesn't really matter. Gumroad is the payment framework, the payment platform that we get. Wait, what have I done? Second. The payment platform that we get paid for various things like books, but also we don't get a lot of money through that. GiveButter is our main income platform. That's where we get our donations. We haven't in the past run to transfer money from GiveButter to Row, which is our bank account. But we've been doing that more and more often because we haven't had a lot of money in there. We have in the past, if you look at Row over here, $59,000 in March, $53,000 in March 2023, $73,000. Then all of a sudden we got down to 21 in December. I said, okay, I think we have to move money over from GiveButter, which we ended up doing in February. That was only 3,000 out of 32,000, but that gave us a little bit more. Anyway, now we have a little bit more money that we haven't transferred from GiveButter, $11,000. And we have $15,000 in our Row bank account. So we are breathing, even if just a little bit. We have funds coming to us, a $15,000 National Foundation. That's a mistake. It's not the National Foundation grant. It is the Nathaniel. Yeah, it is Nathaniel. It's the same thing. Nathaniel Foundation grant. They just notified us by email that they haven't sent out the money yet. They're having a little bit of, for some reason, some troubles themselves. So they're asking, they asked us last night or early this morning, my time, when do we need the money? So I'm going to tell them, please, as soon as you can. I'll figure out a way to ask that nicely. And we have an anonymous pledge that will be coming in, hopefully within a month or two. So that's a nice big chunk of $85,000, which will really impact our cash flow. So without that money that we're expecting, the pledges, we have $53,000 in these various places. With it, we have a nice $138,000 that we can use, and so we're happy about that. Okay. So let's run through the rest of these balances. Altogether, we brought in, okay, I like counting how much money has come in through Row since the beginning of the year. That's $60,000. And $35,000 donations have come in already through GiveButter, but these are both numbers that are confusing, because we get donations that do not come through GiveButter. If we get a check, we deposit it directly into Row. So that is not a very clear balance to share, really. A better balance, a better donation, a better number to share is the actual number of donors that we've had this year. Up until June 26th, we've had 75 people making donations. Last year, at the end of June, we only had 61. I only started counting them at December a year and a half ago. So we seem to be doing pretty well as far as number of donors this year, and also amount of donors this year. Very nice. This is an important number, and that is the total donations gotten since the beginning of our organization. It's $505,000 and $310, over $500,000, which is pretty good, I would say. And we will be reviewing that towards the end of this meeting.
I had a question.
Pardon me?
Yeah, I know I should know this, but what's the difference between the Row versus the Mizrahi?
Yes, very good question. You shouldn't know it. Mizrahi is an Israeli bank and Row is an American bank. Okay. And the way that we're set up is we have an Israeli company and an American nonprofit organization, and they are separate organizations. The Israeli company is primarily, like 95% of its activities, is running the executive directorship of the American nonprofit organization. So the money comes in to the American nonprofit organization. Mm-hmm. The World Bank account is its bank account. The GiveButter account is the American nonprofit organization's bank account. And from time to time, the American nonprofit organization pays the Israeli company the fees and the expenses of running the American nonprofit organization.
Okay.
Clear?
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for asking that question. Okay, so we're happy. I skipped a technical error at calculating the Row Bank, how much we've had income all that time. Again, it's just as well. Here's another interesting number, which is the total number of recurring payments of GiveButter, monthly and annual. Some people give us $25 a month. Some give us a little more. Some give us less, $100. Some people give us a $500 or $1,000 a year. And so that is recurring. And we like all nonprofit organizations like recurring money. Right now, it seems that we get $680 a month from our active monthly recurrings, plus including our annuals. What's the word? Prorated. It's not. It goes a small way towards our pretty much more or less $14,000 a month expenses, but it's a start. And when we'll be very lucky or very blessed, like a lot of nonprofit organizations, we will have a lot of monthly recurring donations. That's every nonprofit's favorite thing. And it seems that we've had yeah, okay, so we also have PayPal donors, but that's also, and we bring in $400, $500 a month over there, but we're trying to lower that. I think we're much for lowering that. We also had some Gumroad actives, some Gumroad donors, but we've thankfully gotten rid of them, and they moved over directly to GiveButter. We also have 10,700 subscribers to our newsletter. It goes down about 2% every quarter. We have about 3,200 or 3,300 YouTube subscribers. It goes up about a little bit less than about 0.75% a quarter. Altogether, we've had about close to 700,000 YouTube views. And we've also had some Vimeo views, but also that number is the rest of the stuff. I don't want to waste any more time on that. Is there any questions about the numbers that I've shared with you, our money balances and some of our parameters of activity? Okay, thank you very much. So we can make a check mark on the balances of that. Now I'd like to, of the snapshot of balances. Report of activities. Oh, I didn't open this up. Let me open it up also. Report of our activities. Wrong. I thought I opened it. Yeah, I did here. Did not open it here. This is what I was supposed to open. I apologize. Come on. So anybody watching the presidential, oh no, it's open. I don't have to waste time.
I am.
Okay. I'm actually thinking of watching it starting at 4 a.m. Israel time. But my alarm usually goes off at 4:20. So I'm thinking of setting my alarm for 20 minutes earlier and turning on the YouTube and maybe watching it live a little bit. What have we done in the past quarter? The Institute of Midrashic Studies of New Testament, 3 journal articles were submitted, one of which was published. And I don't see, there you aren't, there you are. 3 journals were submitted, one of which was published, and no blog post was written, but Dave will come up to that. I will also mention that I had a very good meeting with one of our fellows, 2 very good meetings, actually, one in New York. We're talking about, AR. What does AR stand for? Our Armando Rusty. So we're really doing well. As soon as he gets in here, I will welcome him. Hello, Armando. Do you hear me?
Yes.
And we hear you. Thank you very much. Thank you for showing up. I will quickly review what we've done until now. We have reviewed our expenses for the first half of 2024. It came out to about $80,000 for 5 months. And I also reviewed our balances like I do every quarter. And we have today about $50,000 in our various bank accounts, plus another $85,000 of pledges that hopefully will be coming in within the next month or two. And in a moment, we will be discussing also, I hope that I will be able to discuss it very short, the important thing that I did this quarter, which was go to the United States. And but meanwhile, that's that. So again, what are the things that we did? We continued with the Institute of Midrashic Studies of the New Testament. We had many conversations. I started working on a project called the Iran-Israel Friendship Murals. Some you might not know about this. It really is. It didn't have much of an expense connection with me. And again, I raised some money for it, but really acted as a conduit. A friend of mine introduced me to this expat Iranian, whose name is Human Khalili, and he's a Christian, and he created murals that show the problems that Iranians, specifically Iranian women, are having, and some of the problems that Israelis, specifically Israeli women, are having. Obviously, I'm talking about October 7th and everything around that. And his dream was to put up 18 of these murals all over the world. He's already put, including a lot in Israel, he's already put up 11. So we hit it off, and I'm helping him to put up murals in the holy cities of Israel. Jerusalem he's already got, but I'm hoping to help him. And Sfat he already has also, Safed. I'm hoping that I'm going to be able to help him in Hebron, which is near where I live, and Tiberias, which I have some connections to. That'll be a little bit tougher. Both of those cities have ultra-Orthodox rabbis who are their mayors, and they don't usually like stuff that has to do with Iran or women or Christians, but miracles have been known to happen. He had a friend who wanted to donate some $7,000 to him. He does not have, he has a little problem with the 501c3 that he's connected to. So I said, okay, I will work on do this for him. And so that's how we had another in-out donation for that project that fits well, in any case, with our nonprofit's mission statement, which is educational things that have to do with Christians and Jews. So I'm okay with that. The U.S. trip, I spoke and met people in Denver, Dallas, Chicago, New York, Panama, and Florida. I'll review that. Jewish outreach lectures. I gave 2 lectures to Jewish groups on the importance of building bridges with Christians. We had the Carson Meyer and Nathaniel Foundation grants that we were awarded.
Couple questions.
Pardon me?
Couple questions.
Yeah.
On the conversations that you had with the Jewish outreach lectures, where did you give those outreach lectures at, and to who?
Yes, I gave them here in Israel in Hebrew. One was given, they were both given to, I'm not really sure what to call it, student, Israeli students who got a grant of a scholarship that require them to participate in like 10 or 15 lectures about Israeli society. And the people who run it know me and already heard me give a lecture about this last year or something like that. And they said, we'd like you to give a lecture about Jewish-Christian relations to our people. And so that's what I did.
Okay, good. And then the next comment was, I see that that's great that we have the Carson Meyer grant.
Yes.
You did not include it in your expected pledges in your Excel spreadsheet. You only included the 70,000 and the Nathaniel.
That is because the Carson Meyer grant of last year came in already and is already in our bank account in the Row bank account.
Gotcha. Thank you.
And the last thing that I'm reporting on is that we participated in the Global Prayer for Israel with co-host Dr. Victoria Sarvati, that was run by our friend Jonathan Felstein. Some of you might have heard of that and maybe even participated. Okay. Of course, we're doing a lot of other things, but I don't like to talk about what I'm going to do. I like to talk about what I've done.
Get on question.
Sure.
I think the Global Prayer for Israel was May 15th rather than April 15th.
Where was the question mark?
Oh. No,
Thank you very much. Okay.
Sure.
Okay, next, any other questions about what we've done? Thank you. And finally, and not finally, my May trip, here it is. A big calendar over here. I'm working on this. Here, let's see if this is a little bit more helpful. Yeah, these are some of the people that I met. And some of the notes, unfortunately, I still have not gotten around to making a strong enough report about this. We've also had some big meetings. That was at the gala in Dallas that Dawn came out for. Thank you. It of course was not a meeting that I organized, but I was there and I met a lot of people. So and these are the people that I took pictures of with them, I think. So hopefully I will reach out to them. Then I had a lot of meetings with Hutch in Denver, and I had a meeting with him on Zoom a couple of days ago, and we're working on making a list of the people that I met over there. And then I went to Panama. I met with a few pastors. And then that was pretty much all of the main people that I met in America. Besides that, the important things to mention were that I met a fellow by the name of Mark Myers in Chicago. Michael and I was there. Thank you to Michael, who was here on the call, who helped me to arrange my trip to Chicago. So Mark Myers is a real estate guy, and so we're going to follow up with him. Hopefully he'll make some donations to Root Source. Sloan Lucky is a man from Chicago who I'm meeting with bi-monthly or bi-weekly. I think that means the same thing. And hopefully he will become a member of our board also. He is a vice president at Goldman Sachs. Michael Golik, as I mentioned, he is a fellow at the New Testament Institute of Midrashic Studies. And in Panama, the most important two meetings that I had were with the Israeli ambassador to Panama that Armando set up, and Armando is also here, so I will shout out and say thank you for helping to organize that meeting. And the other most important meeting in Panama was with Armando's boss, Miro Falik, who is a member of the Falik family, that is owners, amongst other things, of Duty Free Americas, one of, if not the biggest duty-free shop chain in the world. And it was a very good meeting. And he said at the end of the meeting, please please tell me how I can help you. And I went home, and it took me a week or two, but I wrote up a grant request from him. And then it took me another week to realize that I hadn't pressed send. But then I did press send. And again, he has not responded to that send. But hopefully he will. I asked for $85,000. I hope he will give me $85,000. But what I do think that he's not going to say, certainly he's not going to say, oh, you asked for too much, I'm not giving you anything. If he gives me $10,000, I'll say a big thank you also. But we will see. We shall see.
Gidon.
Yes.
Gidon, with it's Elon.
Yes, Elon.
Finally got the audio to work. The meetings in Panama, before we move on, just quickly, with the pastors there, was there any ability to create any horizons further deeper into Central and South America through those meetings?
Listen, horizons and further meetings in Panama would be good for a first time, but here's Armando, who is nodding vigorously. So Armando, why don't you mention something, if you like, about the trip to Panama?
Yes, Elon. There is a big potential for more work. Actually, the pastor who helped us arrange the meeting with the Israeli ambassador, who has a special assignment in the Panamanian Evangelical Alliance, Pastor Leovaldo Zurita. He has plans for Gidon. He was already pitching another visit Gidon can attest to that. And he wants Gidon to come back because he wants to do a very big meeting. And he also wants to bring pastors from Colombia and Guatemala to have a special meeting with Gidon. Obviously, it won't be easy to do that on 2024. So I am envisioning doing that next year, hopefully. But yes, there is a lot of potential. Plus, the Israeli ambassador in Panama wanted to do something with the books. So, and obviously, if the books are translated, it won't be only for the Panamanian market. So we're talking about many nations that we can reach with these translations. So yes, there is a big horizon. There is potential. There is work to do.
Very good. I think one more thing that should be explored, because it's two ways: Gidon going there, getting exposure deeper into Central America and South America, but also many of these evangelical churches also send groups to Israel to tour and to visit.
Of course.
And
I already proposed
Gidon
that.
should be high on their list for meeting, especially if they're interested in touring the Hebron area, but not just. But that could be a specific niche that Gidon can fill in those tours.
I want to do that as well. One of the lady pastors who invited us to have dinner, I told them about the gala, the Nations Art Gala, and she was already interested in doing that. And yes, I am also interested in bringing a group to Israel.
Voila.
Perfect.
Obviously, not on 2025, probably 2-3 years from 2024. But yes, I am also envisioning doing that.
We have a little thing called a war also that's disturbing and disrupting some of these programs.
Exactly. Here you go. You understand.
I don't know. I guess I'm too Israeli. When I hear 2-3 years, I say, yeah, mañana. That's the word that I know in Spanish. We're talking about Israeli. Come on, open up your calendar. Next week, can you come?
Exactly.
Yeah.
One of the things you should consider, Gidon, is the southern hemisphere is the greatest growth of Christianity, South America and Africa, and you have Armando here. What about getting someone from Africa to do what Armando is doing and making connections like that?
You're not asking Armando, you're asking me.
Yes.
I'm all for it. Listen, I did not wake up one morning and say, today I have to find somebody from Panama. I don't remember exactly how Armando and I met, but what I am good at doing is today, if I see somebody that I don't know, I'm going to wave. And if I make it to somebody from Africa, listen, now that you're mentioning it, there have been, one second, let me see if I can make myself bigger also. How nice. Here we're all here. There have been, and I can unpin you also. Oh, this is cool. We can pin two people at the same time. I was saying that there have been Africans who have reached out to me. But I have to say that it's difficult first of all, it's difficult to communicate with some of the people there because their electricity is very spotty. So, to try to do a Zoom meeting with them, it's like, it just can't do it. And to be in touch with somebody by email, is it okay to say that there have been scams coming out of Africa more than probably more than their weight, more than average? And so it's hard to find somebody that I can feel close by. I actually have a friend here in Israel who has gone to Africa and dealt with Christians. I don't know if he was scammed, if he put money someplace and he got scammed, but nothing really came out of it. So to find somebody in Africa that can really deliver either big audiences or money it's I would love it, but it's not something that I really know where to start to find.
I think I know how to start, and I
Oh.
will help you later, or maybe whenever we can set up a Zoom meeting. I can do one or two things about it.
Good.
Fantastic. Okay, so for the first time in years, we are having a board meeting, and there's an action item for one of the board members. So okay, well, that might not be true, but I felt like saying it. So yes, by all means, Armando, please make a note to yourself to propose how I can connect with somebody in Africa. That will be great.
Good.
So I wanted to say that I translated some books from Spanish into English, and there's a website. It's called DeepL or DeepL.com. It's much better than the Google translators. In fact, it's incredibly good. And what you could do is, especially now, I'm not a native Spanish speaker, so I can catch the ideas. And of course, if I'm going from Spanish to English, I can read the Spanish. And since I'm native in English, I can translate really well. Okay, but it's all you need is to take your PDF of your document, run it through the DeepL translator. I think I bought a subscription at one point for like $100 for the whole year, and you can take like, I don't know how many documents, run it through, I mean, like mega document size like yours, which is a pretty thick book, run it through the translator. Then if you get a native Spanish speaker to just read it for corrections, it would go so fast and so easy, and it's basically would reduce your fees. It would be a quick way of doing it. So don't think you got to hire someone to just type up the whole thing brute force.
Oh, of course, of course, of course.
Yeah.
Elon needs to leave. If you can just how to sign that you were here on the meeting notes.
Absolutely. You'll be sending that in the WhatsApp group again, or that's
Yeah,
the
I'll
original
send it out in the
document?
WhatsApp group. You can sign it there.
Excellent,
Lisa,
excellent.
thank you very much.
No problem.
Okay, yes. Okay, Dawn, we're going a little bit deeper than we usually do in a board meeting as far as the specific project, but I was going to mention that one of the things that came out of our meeting in Panama, our meetings in Panama, it started out with the Israeli ambassador, and then we probably mentioned it in every meeting that we have, was that we do want to translate books, RootSource books and website to Spanish. And that's part, in other words, you mentioned here a good tool, $100 a year or whatever it is not a lot. So it's definitely worth working into, and we'll mention that as well.
Yeah.
So with your permission, I will just mention, let me remove all these pins over here and share the screen again. This is just my what I sent to Miro. Just want to quickly skip over it. This is I introduced him. We had an hour-long meeting. He's a young man. He's in his late 20s or very early 30s, and he is the CEO of a very big corporation out of Panama. So we talked. He and I talked a lot about Israel. He's originally from Miami, but he's also Israeli, and so we had a lot of fun talking. And what I asked him for was to translate RootSource, as we mentioned, and also talked about the other initiatives that we do that are Light Up the Church, publishing our list book series, getting our books, specifically the list, into public libraries, not only, also church libraries, etc., doing a Bridge Builders project, and ultimately expanding our reach to hundreds of thousands of Christians. So again, we asked to translate the books, the videos, and the website, $45,000. Light Up the Church, it would be nice if you would also for $20,000. The List War Edition, $15,000. The list of 50 libraries, $20,000. the Bridge Builders Prize and Gala, which we're not planning on doing because we don't have the money, but if we'd have money, that would be a very nice thing to do. Al, I will just mention that my vision is to do something like what you guys did at the museum last year, every year. And Christian Outreach is what we started to do with Josh, but we didn't have enough money to continue it. If we'd have 50,000, 100,000, $500,000, then we would be able to buy those leads, as they say.
The
So-
translation expenses are too expensive.
I beg your pardon?
The translation expenses are too expensive. The 3 books at 15,000.
Okay, it's a good thing I didn't ask you for that money. If
Wait a minute, you're asking him for it, or he's asking you for that much?
I'm asking him for that money.
Oh, okay, all right, that's fine. I'm serious. You could get someone to, I mean, I think you could probably do it for $1,000 a book.
I know,
Okay, never mind. Okay, never mind. Sorry.
Altogether, this comes out to 170. I asked him for 50%.
Okay,
And finally, I also want to mention that I met an old elementary school, my best friend from elementary school, who has done really, really very good in real estate also. So even though he's Jewish, I might end up managing to raise some money from him also. That happens sometimes. Okay, any more? Oh, so that is pretty much, again, I don't want to spend too much time. It's also running very late here. Any questions about my trip to the United States?
no, but I had one quick comment.
Mhm.
And that is that when you approach your Jewish friends, what I keep seeing in like J posts and other things is that, Christians are always shoving Christ down Jewish people's throats. And as much as I am obviously a Christian, that you cannot stress enough that there are people that truly love Israel and the Jewish people and are not trying to just proselytize all the time. And that's really a very, very key point that I don't know how to say it any more succinctly. But anyway,
That is bursting through a wide open door. That is the point that I make in the meetings that I have with my Jewish audiences, and obviously it's something that I stress in my other meetings.
okay.
Okay,
What would you say the percentage of gifts are from Christians versus the percentage of gifts from Jews?
okay, I'm rethinking that question in my head. Have there been any significant gifts from Jews? My sister might have given me some money because she loves to give me money, but we're talking about $100, a few $100. There might by mistake have been some Jew who likes Root Source and likes what we're doing and gave some money. But by far, 95%, I think, is a conservative number of people who have given our money, who is 95% are Christian.
So the question is why don't Jews donate to help Christians understand their Jewish heritage? It seems intuitive that Jews would want Christians to understand their Jewish heritage.
Okay, we're already running late, and that is a fantastically excellent question. And I would love for you to raise that question in a future meeting of ours, and I will also record it like I'm recording this on YouTube. So because that is definitely a question that we will have a lot of people who want to ask, and I will just give a spoiler. As intuitive as it is, it's not real. In other words, Jews are not all keen about whatever that phrase is that you used, having Christians to recognize how important it is for them to engage with Jews, or whatever you said. I've already forgot what you said. Like, thankfully, we're recording this meeting. So, but that is the question that we will discuss. Is that okay, Dave?
Sure.
Thank you. Finally, yes, somebody else. Yes, Al.
Yeah, by the way, when you and Dave do that and it goes live on the Root Source YouTube channel, I will be very glad to hear and share.
Thank you very much. Yes, it'll be very interesting. Very, very interesting. And I'm about to say that I'm surprised I haven't talked about that in past conversations, but I probably have in one way or another. But to focus on it, it's something that's worth featuring, spotlighting. Finally, according to anything else until we come to the next agenda item. According to our contract, the monthly fee to Root Source Israel goes up upon reaching $500,000 raised. Thanks to successful fundraising, as we touched upon earlier in this meeting, we have reached the 500,000 milestone, specifically $310,000. As per the board decision that we will now vote upon, hopefully it will be unanimous, the monthly payment from Root Source USA to Root Source Israel will bump up to $10,000 as of June 30th, 2024. Members of the board who are with us, Al, Dave, and Armando, have you any comments on that item?
I agree.
Thank you.
Yes, I also agree.
Okay, Dave, if they've already said I agree, would you like to say something?
I concur.
Thank you. He always has to be different, this guy. Okay, therefore, anybody else have anything else that they'd like to share or say? Whereas no further business, now therefore resolved, all the items and documents have been examined by all directors, approved and adopted, and that all actions taken thus far have been ratified and approved. No further business, the meeting was adjourned. These people will sign, and this is just an example of the past. Obviously, I cut and pasted. Thank you very, very much, everybody.
You're welcome. All right.
Michael, I'll be meeting with you in a moment.
Thank you,
Shalom,
Gidon.
shalom. I will
Shalom.
post the recording of this soon on the WhatsApp group.
Okay, take care.
Everyone.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Thank you.
Bye. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.